All right, this is my combination of this is Auto World to begin with, both of them. And I got the Indy Car and I got the Trans America. Well, the Indy Car came with a 20 volt wall wart, and the Trans America came with a 16 volt wall wart. So I used the 20 volt right off the bat. And with these controllers that came with it, at 20 volts, they were pretty much just on-off switches. When I used the 16 volt wall wart, it got barely better. These, I'd just toss them into the box and leave them there. But anyway, I bought a couple of the old Aurora controllers, and I was looking at them, and it looked like that actually, the female receptors were about the right width to hit the contact points inside of here. So I took this Chicago Dremel type tool and put a sandpaper drum on it because it's a little more aggressive than a stone, and it's actually easier to control. So anyway, I sanded it down, and as you can see, I sanded it down to where the female receptor was, the side of it was showing. And when you plug it in, it's already the right height. And you can feel it engage the two tabs on the side, the two contacts on the side. And it worked great. A lot better control with the 16 and the 20 volt. The only thing that happened is that it started to separate right here. And I'm sitting there driving, I'm going, oh, maybe the wiper's going bad already. It is an old piece, but it had just come loose here. And so when I squeezed it back together, it was making good contact again. So I just got some, Tamiya? They're really thin plastic glue, and just ran it down the cracks and squeezed it together. And so it's back to working normal. Same way with that one. I saw that if you tried to separate it a little bit, pull it apart, it would separate. So I just added a little glue to that. So just trying to stabilize it. But driving the cars, yeah, it was a lot better experience than with those pieces of trash. I couldn't even believe it, when I got this set and I plugged in the 20 volt and started putting cars on it, and it was like, stop, full, stop, full. I don't know what those are. I think they might be around 30 ohm. These are twice as much. These are 60 ohm, but a lot more control. But these, I bought these. They were cheap. And so I was just trying to test out, 60 ohms before I went ahead and purchased a, an expensive controller. So I think I am going to go ahead and get a couple of the 120, 90, and 60 volt controllers or ohm controllers, just so I can have a decent controller. I hate to spend that much money on it. A lot of you guys that are really into it, you're not thinking $70, but for me, for 70 bucks for an HO track about this size, that's a pretty sizable investment, almost as much as the whole Trans America set was. But I went with the Auto World because I could buy two sets, get 4 cars for less than the 4-lane Tomy track. And even though it probably could have been utilized pretty well on this 36 by 80 wooden door or hollow core door. But I'll go ahead and get this plugged in and I'll show you what it's like. And try and forgive me because I'm going to be holding the camera and doing one-hand control. So probably not going to get the entire track in. Okay, I've got the 16-volt wall wart. Got to put it in the power part. So here's the one that's been shaved down to where the female receptors are showing on the side, and so like I said, it slides right in. It was easy to do with the Dremel tool, and we'll pick the cougar. And so you got good low speed, and you can fling it off the track if you want to. So I knock that down every time. I'm gonna have to make like a little suspension thing for that. But let's try it on the other track, other side anyway. Oh, that's the other side. So anyway, just a lot more controllable. You get a good set of these, and you're just looking to replace the original ones, which are junk, and they're not really into spending high dollars. This is actually a good way to go. So this is your Thunder Jet here. By golly, I don't remember my old Aurora Thunder Jets being as quick as this. And of course, with the thin tires, they didn't handle worth up cool. So let's go up to the next step. This one, it's got the thin little pickups and this screw-in guide pin. This one's got like a pop-in guide pin that's actually elongated, and it's got wider pickups. So and having a trigger is a lot better than having a thumb. And when the thumbs don't actually work and they're just on off switches, it makes it even more difficult. So anyway, that's actually a good car. Now, same setup as the Malibu, but man, that thing handles like poop. And the Mitsubishi, it's another one of the Thunder Jets. I actually had to open up the wheel wells on back because the tires were rubbing. But yeah, it's slow. And we'll see how the Indy cars do. These have the old Tyco type motors in them. And that's actually spinning the tires when you hit it full bore at the beginning of the straightaway. After they warm up, they'll probably split. But as you can see, this works pretty good. I'll go ahead and throw in one of the controllers that came with it. Harder to control, not as much grunt when you press it all the way down. So, yep, dead spot. Yeah, I had a couple pieces of track that were actually had low rails on them. That big dead spot. I think that's another one. That's what that is there, and. I think that one's also the same, so I'll have to replace it too. And they're both from the Trans America track. But no, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grind this one down too. I do have some of the, I forget who makes them, but he sells them. They're adapters, and you just, clip this off and put these wires in it, and then it just plugs into here. But I figured with these things, you can get them dirt cheap. If you get good ones, they work well, and all you have to do to get them to work with your your Auto World and your Tomy tracks, they take the same, so this should work in a Tomy track too. But no, I'm a lot happier with these old school Aurora controllers than I am with the thumb controllers here. But with the 16 volts, these controllers are a lot better behaved. When you put 20 volts through these, they just become on-off switches. So, okay, that's it. I'm done, but it's an easy mod. Doesn't cost you anything, and even if you screw it up, you can buy those adapters and replace the plugs on it. So, you're not really losing anything. And if you do it right, you're gaining usability. And when you sand these down, as soon as that surface starts showing through, to where it's about 1/16, 1/18 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch wide, leave it alone. Don't go any further. You don't want to sand through the sides of this. You don't want to weaken it. But no, works good. All right, that's it.